What up, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. My name is Rich. The name of the channel is Rich the Return Rider. For all you folks that's here for the first time, thanks for tuning in. For all you folks that's return viewers, I appreciate you coming back. So yeah, let's talk about it, folks, as we start out here by making a little bit of a figure eight. Little bit of emergency braking there. And let's get this video started. So as you can see there from the title, guys, everything that I say in my videos is only my opinion or from my experience. But as we get out here for some throttle therapy today, guys, we're going to talk about why I believe older riders, or I should say more mature riders, are safer riders. Now, what inspired me to do this video, as we are out here in Lake City, we are going to be heading towards Branford, Florida. Beautiful weather here, guys. I think the temperature is now saying 83 degrees. We are in November. Spent the weekend at the track having the most awesome track day ever. We'll do a separate video about that. I know the Goldwing community is not interested in that. But what inspired me to do this video, guys, is I recently had an ex-coworker of mine reach out to me as we were planning to hook up and do a ride and said to me, bro, this motorcycle is the best thing I ever bought. I am so happy with this purchase, quote unquote. He said, I ride almost every day that I can. Now, why this was so important to me is as I am now at a new facility, I have been encouraging another coworker of mine to just get out and check it out, man. Now, for anyone out there that is curious about motorcycle riding, he asks plenty of questions about it. I did a video with my grandson, and I also did a video with Lorna for $100 doing a private lesson with two awesome instructors in Jacksonville, Florida. So if you're curious about whether motorcycle riding is for you or not, $100 is nothing, guys. It's kind of a show up and ride. You know, if you got a helmet, beautiful. If you don't have equipment, you let them know what you don't have. But I suggest getting even a cheap helmet. But yeah, folks, why my opinion is that older riders are safer riders is based on my experience. Now, as a youngster growing up, my dad has made it clear, it's starting to get a little overcast here, that none of his 4 sons will be welcome bringing a motorcycle to our place of residence. It will not be welcome. And what my dad realized at the time that we didn't was that we just weren't ready to be safe operators of such beastly machines. And I say that about all motorcycles. I think the danger exists from the smallest motorcycles to the biggest ones. But with Dave reaching out to me to express to me that his purchase, how satisfied he was with purchasing his motorcycle and wish he had done it years ago, was just awesome to hear. You see, how that came about, guys, was a little after the pandemic. Now, I purchased my motorcycle after being away from motorcycle riding for 20 years. I bought the M109R. As I returned to riding, right around the time that pandemic was kind of slowing down. And as me and another coworker got out and we started riding and we came back to work and we talked about how therapeutic motorcycle riding was, we kind of, recruited one of our coworkers that was with us there to, hey man, get a bike and come on out and relieve some of the tension, these 12-hour shifts of what appeared to be terror at the time. And this guy actually jumped on it, purchased his first motorcycle, which You know, we always talk about what's the best motorcycle for a beginner motorcycle rider. Now, I think Dave had rode sometime in the past as a kid. He didn't have an endorsement, no special training. But his first motorcycle, guys, was a C90. Big motorcycle from Suzuki. That was his trial motorcycle, pretty inexpensive purchase. He rode that motorcycle for a little while. His wife decided to join him, really similar to my journey getting back into riding with Lorna. And just like I changed from the M109R to the Goldwing, Dave decided to get rid of the C90 and bought himself a beautiful Harley Davidson. But what I'm going to say, folks, is that Dave has shown to be one of the most responsible riders that I have known to date as he was embarking on this journey. You see, that kid, speaking of myself, as a youngster in my teens and 20s, that was fascinated with the motorcycles that I came in contact with. I was fascinated with the performance. I was fascinated with the speed. I could just envision myself out there as I saw some of the friends of mine out there. I remember they had a motorcycle that was a turbo. Kawasaki came out with a turbo. I think it was a 750. I had the opportunity to get on that motorcycle. Couldn't ride it very well at the time, but just knew that that was the motorcycle that I wanted. Why? My dad said, hey, in the New York, especially in that New York area, it was not going to be an option. So this is what I observe, folks. Older folks that get into riding motorcycles understand the risks. It is said out there by the statistics that I looked up there that you are 22 to 24 times more likely to be engaged in a fatal incident on a motorcycle than in the passenger vehicles. That's pretty significant. When you find older riders that's starting to ride, the first thing they think about is their safety. They realize their bones just don't heal the way it would have when they were in their teenage years and in their 20s. They embrace that. They're usually willing to take advice when it comes to safety or safety information. You know, I'm actually going to make a right turn here because these lights don't often pick up motorcycles with their sensors. But yeah, that younger version of me would not been responsible enough to properly operate a motorcycle at what I think is a safe and effective way. So as I encourage my other co-worker there, now the gentlemen I'm talking about are both in their 40s. So when you say older, that term could be relative. Because when I got back into riding, if I'm not mistaken, or when I first got into riding, I want to say I might have been in my early 30s. And there was still a level there of feeling invincible, however you put it. In my 30s, that probably would have made me a little bit more risque than I am now. Now, let's not fool ourselves, guys. If we get out here on these motorcycles, man, we are exposed to dangers that the average cager is not. There's no crumple zones on these motorcycles. There's usually no airbags, like, of course, unless you're riding a Honda Goldwing DCT airbag. But yeah, that feeling of invincibility. Now, this is what I observe. Now, as Dave have gone on and he's purchased his new Harley Davidson, I encourage him to get out and I do classes. You know, I'm a big fan of 3 content creators that I can think of right off the bat. And first and foremost is Robert Simmons, be the boss of your motorcycles. I've learned so much from that guy on slow speed operation and control of the motorcycle. As a motor officer sergeant in the New York area, that guy videos are invaluable. The next one is MC Rider. This is a content creator that is also a coach, motorcycle instructor. Put videos out every Friday, and it's mostly focusing on road strategies, ways to stay safe out there on the road. He also practiced the slow speed maneuver and stuff and control of the motorcycle. You see, Dave is receptive to all of that. When I mention that to younger riders that I encounter at work, there's absolutely no interest in it. Now, the other content creator that I am a big fan of also, and he covers a wide range of area, especially folks, because he's from the San Diego, California area, especially these folks riding in the mountains and the twisties, is a guy named Mojitsu. Now, this guy have videos out there. He did a video on who shouldn't ride a motorcycle. I think I commented on that video and was criticized by one of the commenters that we are gatekeepers. That, well, he was referring to me when he said, you know, folks like me that take classes feel that I'm safer than anyone else out there because I take classes. Now, guys, that's not the issue here. But anything that you can learn, even if it's in your profession, man, you know, we're required as healthcare professionals every year to have a certain amount of certifications. They're called CEUs. And that's to make sure that we stay competent. Now, what these folks are promoting out there, man, is to know what you're doing with these motorcycles that can be as joyous as they can be, or they can be as dangerous as possible. They can be life-changing in one way or the other. In the happiest ways, but sometimes in the saddest. And that's just the reality of it. There's no cut cards about that, guys. But what I have observed, as I've watched certain content creators' videos, and I watch the older content creators, but the one thing that I'm going to say to you guys is to always stay humble. But when I watch these older content creators, there's nobody crashing. Now, they do have incidents, and a lot of these incidents come at slow speeds. I was recently watching a content creator that had a motorcycle there, a Ducati, that I really like. I think it's the Diavolo. And as I was watching that guy's video, one of the videos that popped up was him crashing his motorcycle as he was laid up in his garage, and he's talking about how the incident wasn't his fault and how that person ran into him. But when I watch his other videos, man, this guy is out there and he's got so many different types of motorcycle, and he is balling. If he got a video out there with him speeding through traffic or popping wheelies or stuff like that, it goes viral. See, all the content creators are not going to do that. They're just not interested in that. They realize that there's a price to pay for everything that you do on a motorcycle. So as I encourage my new co-worker to get out and ride, man, this stuff could be therapeutic. I think Dave calls it wind therapy. I call it throttle therapy. But the older riders seem to take a different approach on to safety than the younger riders do. You know, I always talk at the end of my videos about practice emergency braking, and swerving. Now, to be honest with you guys, I don't encounter a lot of close calls out here. I'm usually out in the country riding. I'm very vigilant even as I'm doing these videos. But the thing that MC Rider always talk about, man, is if you haven't had to use these techniques, and you might be riding for years, if you don't practice, when you need them, they just won't be there. But yeah, folks, again, don't want to be a gatekeeper, safety police or anything like that, but my observation is just that the older we get, guys, the more responsible, mature, and I think more ready to ride than ever before. So as I encourage my new co-worker, and again, I do encourage folks to ride. I'm fascinated every time I hear that someone that I work with or that I'm around is a motorcycle rider. Anyway, that's my video, guys, man. I'm encouraging any and everyone to get out and ride, man, but to take this stuff as serious as it is. Rich the Return Rider, just doing a short video. I'm sorry I haven't had a video out recently, guys. I've got a new computer that is easier for editing, and the plan is to have at least a video out every week. I don't have a day specified for my videos yet, but yeah, gonna be back on YouTube here, so doing some videos, and hope that you guys will continue to follow and support the channel. Encouraging everybody to get out and ride, man. But you know what they say, the experts claim if it's the one thing that we need to practice out there, guys, is emergency braking, and swerving. A lot of the accidents happen at intersections, and it's the one thing that we should practice that can save our lives. I'm trying to reach out to Robert Simmons, be the boss of your motorcycle, to see if I could squeeze myself in a class that he's doing on this weekend here. I'll be trying to reach him later. But yeah, folks, do the advanced safety classes, man. At the end of the day, it's better that you drop your bike on a concourse on a parking lot than to crash them out in the streets. Rich, Out on Ruby, the 2019 Honda Goldwing, and I do believe older riders are safer riders, and I am out. Thanks for watching.